Hey up everybody, how the devil are we all doing? It's a naked greybeard, and in this video we're building this piece of nondescript shit right here. Beautiful. So first up we're going to need a location, and that little decking area you saw in front of the build, that's actually a pre-existing structure, and it's just down from the Flatwoods Lookout. And to be honest with you, it's actually quite easy to build around. Now, foundations wise, we're going to want them to line up as best as they possibly can be lined up with, yeah, this little stage decking thing we've got going on here. But like I say, it's quite a forgiving area to build in, so you shouldn't find this too much of a challenge at all. If you do, well, I apologise. And with this build being so tiny, we're just going to be using 4 foundations. Initially, we are going to add an extra one onto it, but don't get too excited about that just yet. Once we've got our foundations down, we're going to move on to the walls. And if you've seen my videos before, then 1, I feel extremely sorry for you, and 2, you'll know that I like to mix and match materials. And my 2 favourite materials are the warehouse set and the shack wall set, because they are the scruffiest pieces of shit that we've got in the game, closely followed by the haunted house set. But for the sake of simplicity, let's just keep this one, well, simple. Let's not go throwing in a 3rd building set, shall we? Nah, I don't fancy an aneurysm today. And as ever guys, if you want to put different wall pieces in or use a different build set, then bloody well go ahead with it. Experiment a little bit, you know, just like that time I went to Bandcamp and shoved a flute up my... Nope, that's a lie, it was a bassoon. So now we've got 3 sides done, but this front bit here, we're going to put down an extra foundation. That's the mystical one that I was on about before. And at the side of that, we're going to shove down some stairs. Simply lovely. And from here, we can put on our slopey boys, aka not flat roofs. And we're going to put down some top arches before we do that. And again, I'm just mixing and matching the materials. Now, it was around this point where I discovered that I'm actually going to make this build into a listening post for Raider Punk. You know, we've got aliens landing everywhere, so I thought it'd be quite fitting. We'll just ignore the fact that the decking itself has a shit ton of patriotic flags on it, and it's probably got nothing to do with aliens, but that's absolutely fine. Once the roofs are on, we're going to put down some half walls around this random foundation here. This is going to be a platform for a satellite dish to sit on, because obviously Punk needs some way to communicate with the aliens. I mean, at this moment in time, he could just go to Wavy Willards or somewhere like that and actually see the aliens, but he's a lazy bastard, so yeah, let's make it easy for him. I still have no idea why I've decided to dedicate this build to Raider Punk, but we'll just go with it, it's fine. Anyway, once you've finished having a quick look at the back end of your building for no apparent reason, come back to what you've just built and stick down a flat roof on top of that. Yep, simply lovely. Fantastic work. We can also use this little area for somewhere to add our generator as well, and with it being such a small build, it'll provide power to pretty much the whole thing. Now, I don't actually encourage people spending money in the atomic shop, but if you do ever see this Vault-Tec generator come up, just get it. It makes no noise and it doesn't produce any smoke either. Really handy little tool. I don't think tool's the correct word, but we're just going to roll with it. We can then wall this bit off, just throw in a half wall, stick another half wall on top of it, and remove the bottom one. We are going to block that off as well, but we need access to it for now. And to finish up our walls, we're going to use one of the powered doors. Now, you are going to have to delete the stairs, because for some reason it won't let you put the door in over the stairs, but you can add them back later. Now, obviously, we're going to need a way to open this door. We're going to need a power switch, but we don't want wires all over our camp, do we? So I'm going to show you a little trick. It's been covered millions of times by different YouTubers, but yeah, I'll show it anyway. We're going to place this power switch on top of a sign. I'm going to use a condemned building sign, and we're going to drag it over to where the generator is. We can then attach a wire from one of them conduits up to the switch. Absolutely fantastic. We can then pick the whole thing up by selecting the sign and moving it a little bit, place it back down, and now when we pick it up and place it on the powered door wall, the wire should still be connected from the switch to the conduit. Absolutely fantastic. We can then run a wire from the switch to the door itself, and there you go. Functioning powered door. We'll just throw our stairs back in, and this is what you should be left with. It's pretty much complete now, the actual structure. There is a couple of things we're going to throw on the other side, so let's take a look at that now. We're going to start by turning this wall into a doorway, and we're going to snap one of our magical catwalk pieces to it. FYI, if you bought the alien catwalk set, it works in exactly the same way. And what this allows us to do is snap in a half wall underneath the wall itself, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it just covers the foundations up. And we can do that for the other foundation next to it as well, but we are going to have to delete the shack wall. I don't know why, it just doesn't let you do it via the doorway method. And once you've done that, you should be left with something like this. Now it's time to go around and just add shit to the build and just make it look a little bit more, well, terrible. The way I do this is finding the most scrappy and, junky items that I can find. Defensive walls are a really good one, and they are quite good at sinking into the ground, especially on uneven terrain like this. And I've always found when you have them facing the wrong way around, it kind of looks like them supports that old buildings sometimes have outside of them to stop them collapsing into the earth. You know what I mean? It's probably not the best description of what they actually do. These fans are also a really cool little item. I can't remember where I got these from. I don't know if they're Atomic Shop or they're off a scoreboard. My memory is absolutely shot at this point. And yes, they are Atomic Shop item. As you can see there, it has a little atomic symbol on it. What a fucking moron I am. But anyway, another really good item to have as well as the window slats. They can absolutely transform a build. They are from the Haunted House set, I do believe. Now, one of the main things that we need to add to make this build, a listening post is the satellite dish. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to plonk it down on our little half-wall contraption we made before. Simply lovely. I will warn you as well about this location. You've got a high chance of breaking your fucking legs because every time you jump up and try to take a look at it, you fall down the cliff. And I know that sounds extremely amusing, but it isn't. On this wall here, we're going to use another trick with the jump walls. I've done this plenty of times, but I might as well show it, ain't I? Yeah. Simply place down a jump wall where you're going to put in a normal wall and destroy it with a flamethrower. And over that destroyed jump wall, you can place down a normal wall and you can make some really cool effects with it. You can make boarded up windows. You can make the jump walls stick through the normal wall a little bit. It just breaks up the texture. Again, jump walls are a really cool item, especially if you're doing immersive kind of builds. If you do modern houses, then nope, they're not going to be any use to you. Now, I'm going to go and do the decorating on the inside and add a few more little bits to the outside, and I will show you some footage of it when I'm done. And there we go, another build complete. I hope you found it useful, or you at least got something from it. As ever, guys, if you did like the video, please hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, and it lets me know that I'm doing a half-decent job. And if you want to see more weekly Fallout 76 content and slightly useful tips, I'm not saying that I give useful tips, but they may help you out in some situations, consider subscribing too. Anyway, as we say in the north, I will love you and leave you, and I will catch you in the next video. Have fun, everybody. Much love.